Hi, and welcome to Reading Between the Lines. I'm your host, the Water Dog. Today, we're going to be analyzing the discipline of Protean. Protean is a really good discipline because it's one of the few other disciplines that can really get past intercepting and blocking. And in some cases, it actually does that a little bit better than obfuscate. So let's have a look at this discipline. Let's look at that first card. Our first card is Carrying Coffin. It is an action card. Came out in the Sabat in 1996. There's currently only 2 decks in the tournament winning database that have used Carrying Coffin. So let's have a look at it. At the inferior, put this card on the acting vampire. The vampire with this card may burn 1 blood to unlock at the end of any Methuselah's turn. Any vampire can burn this card as a D action. At the superior, as above, but this action is at +1 stealth. All right. I like cards that allow you to unlock. And the reason why I like cards that allow you to unlock, because they allow you to do multiple actions. And then, like for example, with this card, also give you reactions. Okay? So it allows you to unlock. I like anything that allows me to unlock. Freak Drive, Crimeth Inc., Now, those cards are great, but those are one-shot cards. But then cards that are like permanents, things like Dabbler, Homunculus, Helicopter, those cards are permanent. And Carrying Coffin is permanent, of course, unless somebody decides to go ahead and, burn it. Now, the reason why I like Carrying Coffin more than, let's say, Homunculus, Helicopter, and stuff like that, is because you're putting it on a vampire that's typically going to be a combat vampire. Okay, and so the likelihood of somebody wanting to come over there and try to burn this card is going to be highly unlikely. Okay, so what type of vampire do I want on with this? I want Baron Dudon. I love Baron Dudon with this good old 9-cap vampire, man. He is great because he's a Camarilla Prince. Okay. And he's already got a built-in unlock as well. So like, during your minion phase, what he gets to do is he can burn a blood to unlock after performing an action. So what you do is you perform an action with the Baron, right? You unlock, you perform another action. If you've got the Carrying Coffin in place, right? Then at the end of the turn, you just simply unlock, okay? Now, not only that, but it's any Methuselah's turn, okay? So he's basically a great blocking vampire for you, so he can perform many actions, and then he's also able to unlock with Carrying Coffin to block. So I love the Baron with this card. I just think it's great, because the Baron's got all the great abilities for combat. It's got Animalism, it's got Potence, it's got Protean. But the key thing for me also with the Baron is that superior obfuscate, because with that superior obfuscate, he's a prince. Now it's easier to get votes off. Okay, with that superior obfuscate, it's easier to get bleeds off. So you can bleed. You can take a bleed action, unlock. You can take a vote action. You can unlock. Then with Carrying Coffin, boom, you unlock. You can now place as defender. So the Baron is great with Carrying Coffin. I just think it's a really good card for him. So that would be something I would love to see people try, because I think it's just a good combination with the Baron. Our next card is Dual Form. It is an action card. Came out in the Kindred Most Wanted in 2005. There are currently only 10 decks in the TWD database that have used Dual Form. So let's have a look. It's a +1 stealth action. It's going to cost you 2 blood. Okay? At the inferior, unlock this vampire. During this minion phase, you may unlock this vampire again. At the superior, this acting vampire's capacity is reduced by 1 until the end of the game. Put this card in play, locked. It becomes a non-unique vampire with the same clan, sect, capacity, and disciplines as the acting vampire. You may move up to 2 blood from the acting vampire to this vampire. If either minion leaves the ready region, the other is burned. All right, so there's a lot going on with this. So we're going to look at the very first thing real quick, which is the inferior thing. Once again, you're going to take this action, you're going to unlock the vampire. Now, during the phase, you get to unlock again. So basically, with Dual Form, it's going to cost you 2 blood, but you're going to be able to unlock another time. So you're able to do 2 actions in the turn at the inferior with dual form. You're able to do 2 actions, and so that's what's really good. So it's a +1 stealth action to get it on there, and then you're able to do 2 actions during the turn. That's what's really great. Okay? Now, the superior is just plain fun. Okay? Because if I'm playing, big vampires, let's say, especially vampires that have a lot of superior disciplines, like Madeline Giovanni or Vlad Tepes, or my favorite, Stanislava, okay? Love Stanislava with dual form, okay? Because Stanislava has a lot of the abilities I love. Animalism, celerity, dominate, fortitude, protean, all at the superior, okay? She's an 11 cap, all right? So what you do is you do the dual form with her, and you make a 10 cap Stanislava. That's what you're doing. You're making a 10 cap Stanislava. All right. If you want to do another one, It's a 9 cap Stanislava. So basically, you could put yourself out a field of Stanislavas with all of those abilities. Okay. Now the key thing is to also remember is now you don't get the special text abilities. You don't get, like, for example, for her, it's like retainers employed by minions opposing Stanislava in combat lose their abilities, right? Allies cannot block her, right? So you don't get that, but what you do get is you get the disciplines, okay? And that to me is the key. So now all of a sudden you've got a vampire that can do govern. You've got a vampire that can do deep song. You've got a vampire that can do additional strikes, just as powerful as Stanislava, but now they're on the field all over the place. And so I love dual form with her, especially because of the fact that she's just a big old 11 cap vampire. Now the thing you do have to realize is that no matter how many copies you make, if one of them is sent to Topor, the rest are burned. So that just kind of keep that in mind. So, but with Stanislava, hopefully you're doing all of the burning. Hopefully you're doing all the combat burning with all of that. So I think dual form is just a fun card, especially in casual VTES. If you're playing casual and you're just trying to have fun, throw dual form in there. Especially with one of those big vampires. Try it with Vlad Tepes. It's just a good card. Our next card is Form of Mist. It's a combat card. Came out in Jihad in 1994. There are currently 190 decks from the tournament winning database. Okay, so let's have a look. At the inferior, strike, dodge. At the superior, strike, combat ends. If this vampire is acting and the action was blocked, they can burn 1 blood after combat ends to continue the action with +1 stealth as if unblocked, even if stealth is not yet needed. A vampire can play only 1 form of mist at superior each action. All right. Now this card is just an old standard card. It's just been around for a long time. And a lot of players use this card because what is really good about it is it allows you to continue with an action even though you've been blocked. And that's really what it is. It allows you to continue with an action even though you've been blocked. And it doesn't cost you any blood to play. Doesn't cost you any blood, okay? So even at the inferior, it's got a strike dodge, but at the superior, that the fact that you get blocked, you go to a combat ends, and then you get to continue the action with an additional +1 stealth. That's just really, really, really good. I do like the card in conjunction with like Rapid Change, okay? Because Rapid Change is a combat action modifier card. Now, it does cost you 1 blood, but you get the +1 stealth. You also got the strike combat ends. So combining Form of Mist with Rapid Change, you pretty much, with Protean, okay, can get 2 stealth, get out of combat, and see through the action. So that's why Form of Mist is just so good. And it's just really, really good. It allows you to continue on with the action. If you're blocked, get out of the combat, all that good stuff. So Form of Mist, it's just a good card. Our last card is Eyes of the Beast. It is a reaction card. Came out in Keepers of the Tradition in 2008. There are only 5 decks in the TWD database. Let's have a look here. At the inferior, +1 intercept, and put this card on this vampire. This vampire gets -1 stealth. Burn this card during your discard phase. At the superior, as above, with 1 optional maneuver during the first round of the resulting combat if this vampire blocks. All right, folks, this is a water dog card. And the reason why it's a water dog card is because since I do like to do a lot of combat and stuff like that, I'm going to be using this card, typically, well, the two clans that really have Protean are Gangrel and Titchabrood, okay? They're just loaded with Protean, all right? And so a lot of times you're trying to generate intercept, right? But now this is key because, now we're in, this 5th edition here. And there is a new clan that really relies on Protean, and that's Ministry. Now, one of the downsides of Ministry is it doesn't have the ability to really intercept, okay? But with Eyes of the Beast, it does give you a good intercept card. And the reason why I like it is because it's very akin to Spirit's Touch, Eyes of the Night, Instinctive Reaction. It gives you the ability to get an intercept, and it gives you the ability to have a maneuver. Okay, so you get the intercept and you get the maneuver. So that's what helps you with your combat. Okay, and for the Ministry, what you're trying to do is you're trying to avoid combat, typically speaking. Okay, you want to be able to sometimes have to block an action. Okay, but you don't want to have to take any damage. And so something like Eyes of the Beast is a very good card for Ministry right now. Okay, because it keys off on that ability. So for me, it's a good water dog card, because it plays well with this new Ministry that we've got, because they no longer have Serpentis, right? Serpentis is no longer a thing. We're now relying on Protean for Ministry, and so that's why I like the card. That's it. That's Protean. Folks, I appreciate you tuning in. You watched the whole video? Congratulations. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Reading Between the Lines. I'm your host, The Water Dog, and if you like what you've been watching, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Y'all take care.